we're on Sheviit, Perek Gimel, Mishnah Hey. We're continuing to discuss things that a person shouldn't do or are not allowed to do to his field because it looks like he's servicing the field and preparing for the next year. So we talked about applying manure, fertilizing the field, and we also talked about penning sheep in the field because they'll apply fertilizer. Now the Mishnah is going to talk about hewing stones or trying to bring out stones, because when you remove stones from the field, that also it's possibly preparing for the field as well. If you've ever been in Israel, you know that the fields all over the place are full of stones. So if you had a year off, then what would you do? You would spend the whole time removing stones in order to prepare for the next year, for the coming year, to make it workable. So says the Mishnah. Lo yiftach adam machatzev. A person should not open up a machatzev for machatzeva, a quarry. So a person should not open a quarry, batchila, originally, i.e., on Sheviit itself, letoch sadehu. So lo yiftach adam machatzev batchila letoch sadehu. You cannot open up a quarry on Sheviit. You can't begin a quarry unless ad shiyubo shalosh murbiyot shem shalosh al shalosh rum shalosh. Okay, unless you have 3 murbiyot. We're going to discuss this term. First, I'm going to give you 2 explanations. I'll give you the Kahati's explanation, and then I'm going to give you the other explanation according to the Bartanura. Okay, until he has 3 murbiyot, which we'll say are 3 rows that are 3 by 3 with a height of 3, i.e. 3 squared. Shiuram esrim v'sheva avanim. So how many square? Meaning, so the point is like this: if you have such a large quantity of stones that you are quarrying a huge amount of stones, then no one's going to think, oh, he's only quarrying his stones to prepare his field, because it's obviously a quarry. So the question is, how many stones do you have to have? So the Kahati says, okay, what it means is shalosh murbiyot, 3 rows, okay, that are 3 by 3 amot by the height of 3 amot, which means 27 amot. So if you look, let's look over here at this one, 3 by 3 amot. At the height of 3 amot, each one of these is an amah. Each of these rocks is an amah by amah, square amah. Okay? So you have 3 of these. And if you come to your field, and in your field you have 27 cubic amot of rock that you can harvest, you can quarry, then there's no problem. Nobody would ever think, oh, well, the reason he's quarrying is because he's preparing his field. Rather, they would think the reason you're quarrying is because you have a quarry, you have a ton of rock, and you can sell it. Okay, that's the opinion of the Kahati, the simple explanation, and he says that's the understanding according to the Melechet Shlomo in the name of Rav Yosef Ashkenazi. Problem is, what do you do with this word murbiyot? Okay, when you look at the Jastro, the word murbiyot comes from morchiata. Okay, he says murbiyot, long boards, a trough of a well. Okay, the Bartanura says the following. If you look at the English translation also, stone quarry, unless there are 3 layers of hewn stones, 3 high, 3 layers. Here it translates as layers. That's the English. But the word murbiyot is a little bit tricky. Says the Bartanura. Let's read. Okay? He says the following. Machzev. Machzev, we said, is a quarry. Makom betoch sadeh shechotzvim mimenu avanim lebinyan. A quarry, a place that they quarry stones for building. Imaya mechuse afar. So we're not talking about, let's go back to our picture, we're not talking about a quarry above ground, but instead we're talking about a quarry below ground. Here's the ground level. Okay, and obviously you're going to dig down in this, and then under it you're going to dig down and you have rock. Okay? V'lo yanir'eh. The rocks are not visible. So now you have to dig, you have to hoe. And pochtchin oto betchila b'shviit. You can't dig on Sheviit. Why? She'areu meletakein sadehu oseh. Person who is letakein sadehu, he's doing it to fix his field, because it leaves roa betocho in order to plant. The same reasoning, but here the Bartanura says you are digging, you are uncovering dirt. Unless shehebo shalosh murbiyot. Murbiyot, remember we said it was like a trough. Shu niglim v'nir'im me'oto machatzev kodem Sheviit. Shalosh shurot avanim, 3 rows of avanim. Shekol shura mehem shalosh amot orech. Every row is 3 length by 3 wide. Berum shalosh amot. Okay, it has to be the height of 3 amot. Shnimsa sham teisha avanim, 9 stones. Shekol even hu ama al ama berum shalosh. Here the Bartanura explains very differently. Each stone is 1 by 1 by 3. So if we look here, if you remove your dirt, if you dig the dirt away, each one 3 by 3, and each row is 1 by 1 by 3. Okay, because they explain the murbiyah, the Bartanura clearly explains the word murbiyot are avanim, this is the Tosafot Yom Tov, arukot, long rocks, the size like a trough. It has the shape of a trough. Okay, long rocks that are called murbiyot. So he says, you need 9 of those. Each one of those is 9 of those. Then he continues. Let's go back to the Bartanura. Okay, 3 rows. V'chein b'chol shura v'shura. Harei esrim v'sheva avanim l'shalosh shurot. You need 27 rocks. So the Bartanura says, actually, these rocks, I just kind of designated them as separate. That's an inaccurate description of the way the rocks should look. Really, these rocks should be adjacent one to the other, right? You have 3 rows. Let's see if I can grab this also. It's a little tricky to grab them all. Okay. And then these 3 also. So really, you have to have 27, how does it? 27 times 3, 54 cubic amot of rock, according to the Bartanura, that's actually uncovered. In order to dig into your field, you have to have a much, much larger quantity, according to the Bartanura. And I think what explains this idea of the murbiyot is the murbiyot because they have to be long and thin, long and narrow rocks. That's the machloket, the way we understand this Mishnah between the Kahati and the Bartanura. Is it the murbiyot, it means rows, or does it mean long, narrow, tall, narrow rocks? And the difference between that will determine whether you have to have only 27 cubic amot, or whether you're digging down, it has to be 27 times 3, so 51, no, much more, 81 cubic amot. You can correct me on my math if you want to. And when you contact me at rspolter@gmail.com, and we'll dedicate the learning to the memory of my father, Harav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a great day.